It smells, eh?
Crushed eggs are kept for 21 days to allow for fermentation before being applied on his farm.
Do liquid fertilizer just from household wastes. Normal food, vegetables, we pack that together, put it in a bucket, maybe add some neem tree leaves, and the neem tree leaves are good for the nematodes. Then add a bit of moringa or whatever greens you have and just cover it for 21 days, and the fermentation releases some liquid, and that liquid you dilute with water, and you water your vegetables. The first time I was told about this, I didn't really believe it. And I tried it, just with neem leaves and with moringa leaves and a bit of cow dung, closed it for 21 days. And when I took the water and watered my lawn, the area that I watered, within 4 days, it was deep green. And the other side, so it became a very good test case for me as I did training with women and young people and men from the community resource management area. It was just a very practical demonstration to see how you could make this liquid fertilizer. So,
Dr. Father Aapengnuo is Executive Director for Center for Conflict Transformation and Peace Studies. He also looks into natural resource conflict for environmental protection and provision of solutions.
So that means it's not doing well. I better say, okay,
It is early hours of the day and Dr. Father Aapengnuo checks up on his liquid fertilizer made of crushed eggs. He mixes the eggs with household waste including vegetables as well as neem and moringa leaves.
2 weeks ago, we had a problem with our incubator. I have about 2,000 eggs, guinea fowl eggs in the incubator, hatching. And we had a problem. And I had over 400 eggs that were spoiled. And after I got over the trauma of losing all these eggs, I'm like, wait a minute, we can turn this into liquid fertilizer, So you get a bucket, put it in there, crush them, put neem leaves, crush them, added moringa leaves, and I just keep dumping waste there and covering it. And now in 21 days, I'm going to drain the water. Now, when you drain the water, that's liquid fertilizer. But then the solid waste that is still there, you just go into the garden, you dig a hole, and then you pour it into your garden. And leave it there for another 21 days. And you can either dig it out as organic fertilizer and apply in the garden or plant around in that area. And so far, the results have been amazing. So I'm still trying it. And if I get the hang of it and I see, okay, this is working, I've tried this several times and it has worked, I've demonstrated it in my garden, then I can begin to show to people and say, hey, listen, do this and see how it works.
Eggs contain high levels of calcium, which is an important nutrient for plants, especially vegetables and fruits. The liquid fertilizer leaches the calcium into the soil for root uptake during composting. Since discovering this method of fertilizer formulation, Dr. Father Aapengnuo no longer buys fertilizer on the market. So how did Dr. Father Aapengnuo make the discovery of homemade fertilizer?
I give the credit to Mr. Martin Gilbora. One of the things I'm trying to do is to promote guinea fowl rearing. So I discovered that, the young kids, they die, 70 to 80% die. So the first thing is, how do you prevent that? So we did the caging. Then the next thing is, how do you produce enough? Because if you have to wait for your hen to hatch, so I found a young man in town who built his own incubator and he could hatch. So what I do is I supply him with eggs. But some of the eggs are infertile, some of the eggs spoil because power goes off, the incubator is there, So I was sitting down with about 200 spoiled eggs. I didn't know what to do with it. So I went to Martin and I said, hey, listen, I have these spoiled eggs. He said, oh, he can make liquid fertilizer. And I'm like, what? So I gave the eggs to him. And after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he came up with this liquid fertilizer and showed me how he had applied it and how it was working with the plants, So that's how I started becoming interested in this.
So with this method, there is no need to be worried about low demand and price for eggs. This is because there is another chance of turning it into liquid fertilizer for sale or for domestic use. So eat your eggs, save the spoiled ones, and fix your soil for bigger, better crops. A report by Mahmud Mohammed-Nurudeen.